السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على السلام. حي على السلام. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أدى الرسالة وبلغ الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الأمة وتركها على المحجة البيضاء لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. We start in the name of Allah, the most magnificent, the most compassionate, the most merciful. الله لا إله إلا هو الواحد الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. The one that sees all, the one that knows all, the one that gives, the one that takes, the one to whom we shall return. Glorified and exalted is He. And we send peace and blessing upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the best example for mankind, وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، إخوة الإسلام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This khutbah is not intended to be a political commentary, since khutbah al-Jum'ah is more important and more valuable to us as Muslims. But it really touches the core of our faith, our iman, our belief, our aqidah. And it makes us watch what's going on around us in the world and try to reflect on it from an Islamic perspective, going back to the Quran and the Sunnah, so it can provide to us some comfort and increase our yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His justice. As we are all watching what's going on in Gaza and Palestine, and as we see hundreds and thousands of people, children and kids and women and older people are being killed, slaughtered, with all this atrocity happening every day. Every minute, every 10 minutes, you find one child is being dead, killed in cold blood. And we watch it live on TV. And we see the whole world is paralyzed, just sending messages of condemnation. And you see children under the rubble. The whole family is under the rubble. And it could be their burial place. They cannot even dig them out. That become their graves. And you see children and holding to the parent, the father holding to his kids, trying to make him stay strong, trying to say shahada. What is buried under the rubble of Gaza is not just those innocent souls, but what is buried there is Western value. All these great Western value that they've been teaching us, indoctrinating us, all this propaganda that we've been hearing for years, all these great value like human rights, international law, equality, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, all these values are buried in the rubble in Gaza, and they might not come back to life again because hypocrisy has been exposed. You see, it all started when all or most of our Muslim country was occupied, colonized. And they came in and they told us that we are civilized and you're not. We are modern and you are not. We have value and you don't. So we're going to show you how, we're going to teach you how to be modern and civilized. Forget about that Quran and the Sunnah, because it's really old, 1400 years old. We have some updated version. And we're going to teach you our value. Even after we have World War I and II, which is world war that happened on Western land, by Western people, between Western people, where millions of people have died. They call it World War, although it happened in Western land. And they got together and they said, never again. We're not going to allow this to happen again. And they made League of Nations, United Nations, Geneva Convention, and they bring all these beautiful Western values and try to teach the whole world so this war will never happen again. And they started indoctrinating all countries of this great value of human rights and equality. But it failed the first test. The first test, as you see, these values are total hypocrisy. When you can see with your own eyes, live on TV, all these innocent souls are being killed and dead, and nobody even move a finger. All condemnation. So this is for us a reflection, to try to see as a Muslim, that we should not follow that propaganda and go back and to our deen, our iman, our aqidah. And we have all this value in our faith. As a nation that believes in fairness and equality, and la fadlu al-'arabiyya 'ala al-jami' illa bil-taqwa. We have all this. We just need to dig it out and brush it out and show it to the whole world so the world can see what Islam is all about. And the people of Gaza have done that. They have done that for us. Because in the Western media, when they see these people that lost their whole family, the whole family are under the rubble. Sometimes even the whole generation. Some family have been taken off from the public record. The whole family, the father, the mother, the grandfather, the grandkids, all are dead. Taken off, the names are gone. But you see these people staying and say, Alhamdulillah, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And a Westerner are watching this and it's like, where do you get that strength? I mean, for God's sake, if they lose their phone for a day, they don't know, their life stopped, they can't. Where is my phone? I can't. And here they are, you see somebody who has lost everything, his home, his house, the school, the streets. They all gone, under the rubble. But he still saying, with a smile, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ma sha Allah wa ma qadara fa'al. Where do you get that strength? Where do you get that power? And they know they got it from the Quran. They know they got it from the Sunnah. They know they got it from the Deen. They know they got it from the Aqidah and the belief that they have in them. That's why they can stay straight and stay up and stand up for all this aggression and atrocity over and over and over when nobody comes to their help. And a lot of Westerners now are going back to see the source of that strength and reading the Quran. MashaAllah, so many people now are reading the Quran and going back to history, trying to find the root cause of all this atrocity and all that killing and all this occupation and all of this injustice. They can see it and they can read it and they find the truth. Because Alhamdulillah, Allah, with His miracle timing, social media have made this thing accessible. Years ago, only big TV station and anchors and ABC and CNN have the narrative. They can say what they want to say and nobody can challenge it. But right now, Alhamdulillah, with social media, anybody with a cell phone can be a reporter and they can see the truth. They can tell you the truth, but the Palestinian people in Gaza will show you the truth. They show you what's happening out there, making us proud of what their faith and what they get that strength from. As a Muslim, we look at this and reflect. We look at this and say, after what we see, we have to go back into our faith and we have to learn from this. Because if we wanted to look like them, talk like them, walk like them, dress like them, cut our hair like them, then we have not learned nothing. We have not learned nothing. We have to go back again to our root, our faith, our iman, and be proud of it. And present it in the most loving and respectful and peaceful way possible. So people see what Islam is all about. This is the time of Islam, inshallah. I am very optimistic. I am very hopeful. With all this tragedy that we see, with all this atrocity that we see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring victory and will make people see the truth as it is. Ameen. So we look at all these great values that we've been talking about it and we say, okay, so what do you want us to do? Unfortunately, sometimes they want us to change our laws. They want us to interpret our deen so we look like we are equivalent and we are now becoming modernized. And when we try to adopt some of the things that they tell us, like democracy, look what happened. As soon as democracy brings somebody that they don't like, they topple them. They bring coup on them. And they install dictators who will steal the wealth of the people, who will provide injustice, unfairness, imprison people, because it worked for them. And let me be clear, when I said the Western are here, I do not mean individual Western people. Because there is a lot, so many of Westerners who are really conscientious, who are God-fearing, who are peace-loving, who are really stand up for the truth, and sometimes they even pay a heavier price that some of us are afraid to pay. I salute these people, I appreciate these people, I respect these people. When I say the Western, I mean the whole power structure, the whole corrupt political system, the corporation, the money, the greed, the media. And you can see it very clear. With this instant that we are facing, you see, you have two opposing parties. But when you talk to them about the issue, they all have the same thing. They all use the same excuse because it's all within that power structure. Because they all have one script that they have to go by. They don't side with the truth, although they can see it, because they are too coward to say it. And that breaks your heart, because as a Muslim, we believe if you see the truth, مَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمْ مُنْكَرًا فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِيَدِهِ, and then بِلِسَانِهِ, and then بِقَلْبِهِ وَأَضْعَفِ الْإِيمَانِ. And that's a message to all of us. When you see something wrong, you have to do something. Your role, your responsibility as a Muslim to do something. Do what you can from within your post, within your power. If you can change it with your hand, go right ahead. May Allah bless you. But if you can, then speak the truth. Every post that you do for the truth, every time you talk to and explain to them the truth of what's going on, every person that you argue with hikmah and maw'izat al-hasanah to show them what's going on, it's something good that you're doing. And if you can't, then at least reject it within your heart. Don't accept it. Don't go be tough on your brothers that's standing and fighting for all this year and say, why did you do that? Don't you know that this is so powerful of an army and they are so little? How could you do that? They are يَلْقُونَ بِأَنفُسَهُمْ فِي التَّهْلُكَةِ. That's a misuse of the ayah. These people have been subjugated, occupied for years. And they represent all of us in one way or another. And they standing up. They standing up with as little as they have to defend their freedom, to defend their land, to defend their value, to defend their deen. And they never flinch because they have their back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah has shown us that with as little as you can, as long as you have your aqidah and your iman, Allah stands by you. Allah will be with you. Some people would say, subhanallah, where is Nasrullah? Mata Nasrullah? Where is the victory of Allah? Allah sees all this injustice that's going on, and sees this unfairness that's going on, and all these things. How come Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not intervened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسِ بَعْضُهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لِنَفْتِنَهُمْ. This is a test of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It could be a test for us. It could be a test for them. It could be the test for the aggressor. So they know maybe this is a time for you to stop. It could be a hujjah. It could be a dalil. It could be a documentation of all the bad things that you do for the aggressor. So Allah runs His own universe. لَا يُسْأَلْ عَمَّا يَفْعَلْ. We don't ask Allah. We wait for the nasr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for when it comes. But what we have to do as a Muslim is we have to protect your post, whatever it is, with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. And everyone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him skills, has given him knowledge, money and help. You see, watch those people and we look, inshallah, we live in luxury. We are having our homes and it's heated, alhamdulillah, we have our cars. We can go and get coffee and tea and drink and eat with no problem, no fear. And that's a pleasure that we all live in. This is ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. And you have to pay that due for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being supportive to these people, by saying the truth, by saying the haqq, by rejecting the tyranny and the atrocity that you see at least in your heart. That's your role as a Muslim. Your role is to go back again and see what are you teaching your kids. What are you preparing your kids to be? Are you going to fall for all this propaganda and make them become secularism and equalism and gender equality and all this stuff? You see what that will get you. You see what happens to the society and it's becoming corrupt. You have to go back again to basic, to Islam, and teaching your kids the value of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of depending on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of preparing yourself to withstand the pressure, of making your salah and iman and dua and paying your zakat on time and being fair to your brother Muslim and your neighbors, and try to explain Islam in your action, at your word. So people, when they look at you, they see you, they know you, you cannot hide. They know you are a Muslim. But what kind of Muslim are you? Are you that Muslim that's going to be wavering, or are you going to be the Muslim that stands for the truth and exert the best behavior to represent your deen? The deen of rahmah, the deen of peace, the deen of love, the deen of compassion, the deen of fairness and equality. That's our deen. And you have to live it. You have to walk it. You have to act it. So when we see that, and we see all the lies on TV or on the media or anywhere that they see it, they said there's something not right here. Those good, great Muslims are good people. Muhammad is good, Abdullah is good, Abdurrahman is good, MashaAllah, Sarah is good. Those are good kids. They behave good in the best way possible. They cannot do all this crazy stuff that we see. They are not terrorists. They are peace-loving people. And all that can happen to your behavior, with how you react when you have to represent yourself. I hope we watch what happened and reflect on it. This is a point of history when al-haq, al-batil is separated. Very obvious. You see what happened on this war, and you see what happened in this war. You see what they call people here terrorists, and they call people here freedom fighters. They see they give money here and they take money from here. And when this money doesn't work, they move it from here to here. You see this life in front of you. You see the corruption that's happening when they cannot utter the word truth. They cannot say the word ceasefire. Imagine, they cannot even say it. To stop the killing that everybody watch every day, every minute. They cannot even say ceasefire. Not allowed. They can say pause. Humanitarian, just give them some food so they can die, not hungry. They drank. That's all what they look for. But we are better than that. We are more valuable than that. Those people who have shahada, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have been in paradise, in Jannah, where they can see the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They can see the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't worry about them. We worry about us, because we're still living. We still can act, we can still do good. We still have the time. So this is your time to look at what's happening and know things are getting serious now. None of that silliness and wasting your time. Your time should be focused on yourself, and if you are weak, read the Quran. That's where you get your strength from. Teach your children. Work on them. Build them. Make them a better Muslim so they can win in this life and the hereafter. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على نبيه المصطفى وعلى من بآثاره اقتفى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم أعلم إن كنتم مؤمنين. Allah knows what's going on in the universe. He's telling us, don't be weak, don't be sad, don't be frustrated. You are the uppermost if you are a believer. So He's given us courage, but we have to stand for what we believe. And we have to see the hypocrisy right now, and we know it, we identify it, and we don't fall for that trick and that trap again. I'm reminded of an ayah when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ها أنتم أولئك تحبونهم ولا يحبونكم. Subhanallah. You like them, but they don't like you. That's what Allah is saying. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ كُلِّهِ. And He said to them, we believe in Allah. We believe in Moses and Jesus and Abraham. We believe in all the prophets. كُلُّ. We believe in the whole book. We tell them that. وَإِذَا لَقَوْكُمْ قَالُوا آمَنَّا. And in your face, they smile. And they say, we believe, yeah, we believe what you said. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا عَدُّوا عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَنَامِلَ مِنَ الْغَيْظِ. And when they are by themselves, when you're not facing them, they're not nice to you anymore. You're biting your tongue. Because you are standing against aggression. Because you are standing against injustice. They don't like that. Allah knows what's in their heart. And it's showing you. So don't be fooled by all these fake things that you see in front of your face. You got to know what's in the heart. The hearts of the believer have to be connected. The hypocrite, that's a totally different story, but you have to identify them and stay away from them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not promise us victory that we're going to see today in our lifetime. There was no promise in the Quran for that. Never, ever. Allah said, you have to do what you have to do, and that's it. You are being judged on what you do, not the result of what you do. And the Prophet had emphasized that. إِذَا قَامَتِ السَّاعَةُ وَفِي يَدِ أَحَدِكُمْ فَسِيلَةٌ فَلْيَغْرِسْ. If the day of judgment is happening and you know it and you see all the alamat, all the signs, and you have a small little plant that you need to plant in your garden, you should say, throw it away and say, Alhamdulillah, I'm done. No. The Prophet said, فَلْيَغْرِسْهَا. Plant it. But the day of judgment is happening. Plant it. Because you're going to get a reward for you. What you do, not the fruits that's going to come out of that tree. That's our deen. That's our deen. Allah does not judge you for the result. That's none of your business. The people of Al-Kahf and the cave, what happened? إِسْقَامُوا فَقَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهِ. They stood up for injustice and fairness and believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What did they do? Did they go preach the word of Allah? They went in the cave for how many years? They didn't do nothing except stood for the truth and died or sleep. And then when they woke up, what happened? The whole town had become Muslim. Did they have anything to do with it? No. But they planted a seed. A seed that they planted that it grows 209 years later. And that's our role as a Muslim. We're not supposed to see, we might see victory in our time. Allahu A'lam. You might see tomorrow in a month. Your children might see, your grandchildren might see, but that is not your job. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to protect your post and to do the best you can as a Muslim. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنَ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Allah said, who is better than someone who does good and say good and declare it, I am a Muslim. Nobody's better than that. That's what Allah said. You have to combine your words with your deeds. We watch, again, we watch what's happening in the world very clear now. I mean, if you're blind, please go back and read the Quran. Get some faith, get some iman, read your iman. Because it's very obvious now. It's black and white. If you cannot be in between anymore. And don't worry about all this money that's being spent. Don't worry about all this weapon that's being sent. Don't worry about all that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ لِيَصُدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Those who don't believe, they spend their money against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To stand them away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is justice and fairness for all. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَسَيَنْفِقُونَ. And they will spend it. Allah said that. They will spend it. ثُمَّ تَكُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَصَرًا. And then they will regret it. And then they will regret it. ثُمَّ يُغْلَبُونَ. And then they will be defeated. If you don't believe me and you need a proof, Google. Google how much money we spend in Afghanistan. How much money we spend in Iraq. And what did we get for it? Nothing. Trillions of dollars was spent. And in the end we got nothing. We got regrets. We got hospitals that doesn't have people to care for, and we charge hundreds of thousands of dollars for poor people. We have prisons that's full of poor people who cannot afford something. We have our health system that's a fiasco. Our education system that's a chaos. Our streets and our bridges. And trillions of dollars being spent somewhere when it's not supposed to be spent. So don't worry. That's not your job. Allah said, فَسَيُغْلَبُونَ. سَتَكُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَسْرًا. They will regret it. So I want you, inshallah, to stay fast. If anything you need to learn from this khutbah, it's not to fall for this trick again. If anything you learn from this khutbah is you make dua to your brothers who stand and fighting for you and me and making Islam now is a trend. Number one, in the whole world, people are reading the Quran. People are trying to find the truth. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided is going to be guided to Islam. So you do that part and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the trend. And we add this to your حسنات. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وتولنا فيمن توليت. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تغفر لأمواتنا جميعا. آمين يا رب العالمين. We all know that brother Anis, his mother Aisha Bibi Sheikh have died. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her soul and all the Muslims and that died here and there and everywhere. اللهم اطر على قلوبهم من سحائب رحمتك. اللهم اغفر لهم وأكرم نزلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد. اللهم اجعل قبورهم روضة من الجنة. يا رب أبدلهم دارا خيرا من دارهم وجوارا خيرا من جوارهم. يا رب آنس وحشتهم وأنر قلوبهم يا كريم يا رحيم. اللهم ارحمنا إذا ما صرنا إلى ما صاروا إليه. اللهم ارحم من اشتاقت لهم قلوبنا وأرواحنا وهم تحت التراب. May Allah forgive all our dead. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them into the paradise and take them under His wing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala الرحيم الغفير. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون وأقيموا الصلاة.